Hello my friends, I am Sarah. Welcome to Grace in My Space. If you are new to my channel, I've spent the last 2 years doing a complete home remodel on our 1970s home. Everything from complete gut down to the studs, took down walls, did new plumbing, did new electrical. It was a whole process. All the way to $100 room makeovers with simple DIY projects. And today, after living through that and living with the results, I want to share my top home upgrades that I think are worth it and the ones that are not. It is always really interesting to me how you can spend your money when you are home remodeling or even just doing your basic everyday update to make a space more your style. Everybody who moves into a new home or has lived in a home for any length of time, their styles change. They might want to have something reflect their own personal tastes a little bit better, and so they make changes, they make upgrades. And I like to hear from people what they've lived with, what they've invested in, and whether or not they think it was worth it in the long run to make that investment. So I hope that this is a very helpful video if you're in the same boat. Now I'm gonna start with the hardest to film room because it's glass and all it shows you is a glare. So let's talk about the glass. I'm gonna show you one thing that I love and one thing that I'm regrets. Regrets have been made. I chose to do solid glass in this room because it's a small room. It's a combo mudroom, bathroom, laundry room. And so I felt like if I didn't do glass, it would enclose the space a little bit more. And I only had, I think, maybe 2 people warn me about how hard it is to clean this glass and to keep it looking clean. And I was kind of like, it's already in process. Glass has already been ordered. Wish you would have told me like a month ago, but now that I have it, I wouldn't do it again. I think in this same room with this same design, if I were to do it over again, I would probably do like a half wall and then glass just on the upper third. I guess that'd be a 2/3 wall. A 2/3 wall and then glass up. And obviously you still need a shower door with this style of shower. But the glass is very hard to keep looking nice. It always has water spots and it just feels dirty basically all the time. Not only do I love the tile still, I would always do a large format tile in a bathroom because they're just easier to keep clean and there's less grout lines to keep clean, but that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is this. This is a more expensive model, and I'm going to show you a not expensive model that we used upstairs from a more budget-friendly standpoint. But what I would always do is invest in a handheld that is portable. You can take it down. And the reason is because it makes the shower multi-use. Is it a little weird that such a small shower has 2 heads? Maybe somebody would question that. But this space is used as part of our mud room as well as laundry. So we bring the dog in here. This is a dog wash as well as a human wash. And this is perfect for that. The other reason that this was a big plus is this is such a small shower and you have to actually enter the shower to turn it on, and you would get wet every time that you turned this on with this shower head. So we always keep this one on and this one off. And when we turn it on, it comes out here to heat up the water. And then when we get in the shower, we turn this off, turn this on, and then we can get wet when we're ready to. Now let's go upstairs for a more budget-friendly model. Now, if you missed this video, I do have a whole video. I made over this bathroom for $150, just doing very basic cosmetic updates. But the first thing that we did in here when we moved in was this handheld shower head. It actually has a filter in it, which is why we got it in the first place, because our water was feeling very hard. But again, this is a retrofitted onto the existing plumbing that was really low before. It was like this. Actually, it was more like this. And then I'm 5'8", but my husband is 6'1". So imagine that's not super fun. So this is a really, really affordable, I think it's less than $50, upgrade that you can do on existing plumbing to not only raise the height of your shower head, but also make it portable for bathing children, bathing dogs, washing the shower stall, all the things that I said downstairs, but on a budget-friendly option. Now, another home upgrade that I will do over and over again is adding DESLOC smart locks. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. We have multiple DESLOC smart locks around our home, and this time I am installing the DESLOC D110 Plus. It has a built-in display, and it now has built-in Wi-Fi and no longer requires a separate gateway. It has remote control operation as well as many other entry methods. It's a very quick and easy deadbolt installation, and then you can set up all of your settings within the app, but you can also do it right within the smart display on the device. My favorite way to enter is through the fingerprint access, and you get all of this for $90. You can unlock it with app control, fingerprint, smart voice control, keys, PIN codes, or with fobs. One feature I really like is that you can set it to passage mode where you unlock it and then you relock it manually, but you also can set it to auto lock, and it will lock within a certain amount of seconds that you set within the app so that it's never unlocked just because somebody forgot about it. It runs up to 6 months on just 4 AA batteries, but also has Type-C emergency charging just in case you forgot to replace those. This is definitely the best built-in Wi-Fi smart lock with LockVue under $100. Doing these DESLOC smart locks, not only on our home, but also on our outbuildings, has given me so much peace of mind. It is so much more convenient than trying to mess with keys, especially on outbuildings where you just don't always have your key ring with you. You want it to be easily accessible and something you can just walk into instead of having to fumble with keys or carry them with you or always have them on hand. And so this has been such a huge home upgrade that we will always do. Now, one thing that I actually really love about home remodeling is that you can purchase upgrades or you can make them. And that is what I did with this laundry room custom built-in hutch. I built this from scratch. I have a whole video showing you how I did it. It was budget friendly from the standpoint that you're not going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on this, but it was time intensive, labor intensive, and you do have to have a certain skill level, though I had never done anything like this before and it was my first build. So it's still, I feel like a medium, what's it called? Mediocre? Nope. Moderate? Starts with an M. It's like the middle ground one. Intermediate. It's been a long day. This is an intermediate building project. Now, what I love about it is that I was able to customize it exactly to what I needed, like even down to the size of the shelving for the bins that I have and the stuff that I store. So this is a really great upgrade if you just have the basic washer dryer with no storage around it. Upgrade with something that's either something you build or at least some cabinets. Like you can definitely improve the storage and functionality of a laundry room, even if you don't go this far as to make it a custom build. And also add a pretty light fixture into a utilitarian space like a laundry room because it makes it feel a little bit more luxurious to do those everyday tasks. In the bathroom, the next upgrade that I would 100% do and never expected to care about is the bathroom faucet. This is kind of one of those upgrades that you look at a faucet and you're like, who cares? It's a faucet, as long as it gets water out and you can wash your hands and do whatnot, good enough. But then I got spoiled. I partnered with Delta a long time ago to try out these faucets, and wait till you see what it does. I know, a pull down spout in the bathroom. This is the biggest game changer for cleaning your sink, rinsing things down, especially when you have a sink with these soft right angles, because stuff just gets stuck in those corners so easily and it is hard to scrub out, and then you're constantly doing this with your hand to try and get the corners out. I never knew that I was gonna get spoiled, and forevermore I will be putting a pull down faucet in my bathroom. Now I also have a complete video on how I built this coffee nook. This is an upgrade that anybody could do in any size home, no matter what. Even if it's just a small closet, like a hall closet or something that you are tearing out and putting in, This is an easy upgrade, and it makes your whole room feel so custom. Now, maybe you don't need a coffee nook. Maybe it doesn't make sense for the location of your available recessed wall. Maybe instead you turn it into a reading nook or just a library, a built-in library with shelves top to bottom. Any little nook that you have in your home that has 3 walls and an opening can become something very customized that you create for your own space. And the reason that I consider this a worthwhile upgrade is because you are creating personality in your home, you're creating customization, you're creating personalization, and when you combine those 3 things, personality, customization, and personalization, it makes your home feel so much more unique and high-end, and it also just gives you a purpose for something that might otherwise have been an unusable space. I think this is a great example to remember that not all upgrades are single products that you're purchasing or something that you are installing into a new build. Sometimes you can take an unused space or something that just kind of feels a little off and you upgrade it to meet your needs, and that is always worth the investment. Now, this room was the previous owner's dining room. We added storage, not the upgrade that I'm talking about. We found this antique cabinet, not the upgrade that I'm talking about, though I still love them both. The upgrade that was worth it in this room is down below, and you'll never see it. Underneath all of these beautiful tiles is in-floor heat, and it goes all the way through the mudroom, laundry room, and bathroom. And this has been the biggest game changer. We live in Michigan. We have soppy, wet, muddy, snowy boots and shoes pretty much 7 of the 12 months. And so it has been the biggest game changer just for mess. And Ellie, stinker. Ellie really loves it. She lays here and it's her favorite spot all winter long. Just look at how pretty that art is. But don't look at this. It was my daughter's birthday recently, and she valued this $10, ridiculous amount, Mylar balloon so much that she waited all the way until it deflated on its own. So I'm gonna take that as money well spent. Now here in the living room, everything is new. This was an addition to our home. We added everything on, obviously, because it was an addition. And so everything in this room was considered an upgrade in my mind. But the 2 items that I really want to point out are the TV that is also like art. Now this is not new. This is not a novelty. This is also not the only option that you can buy, but we really like the canvas TV. I'll link it for you in the description because it's much cheaper than the frame TV. You don't have to have the one box that's like this huge box that you have to somehow recess into your wall and run wires and everything. That was super intimidating when I started looking up the frame TV the first time. But all it does is plug into the wall and then it streams everything. So it's all Wi-Fi based. You don't have all the extra cords in the one box and all the things that go with most smart TVs. And so it's just so simple. And it's really pretty. And it's also a fraction of the cost of some of the other art TVs out there. Now, if you have the option of either converting or installing a gas fireplace, this is an upgrade I will stick by every time. Because fire on, fire off. Real flame warms up the room. In this room, we don't have a fan on it because it's a pretty small room to have a fan kicking out heat. But in the basement, we installed one and converted it from a previous wood-burning fireplace to gas, and it has a vent blower on it, a fan blower, that's the one, and it heats up the whole space so well in a very cold Michigan basement, and so it's a great secondary heat source. Now, there are a lot of electric fireplaces out there that have become much more realistic, but I just love the look of a real flame. So I will always say go for gas if you want the type of fireplace that you switch on and off, and you don't have to worry about creating an actual wood-burning fire. And also there are all kinds of surrounds and whatnot, and eventually we will stone this and probably stone all the way up and do a little bit more aesthetically to this fireplace, but for now, I am just so happy that I can have fire whenever I want. It's so cozy, it's so charming, and it really does go a long way. Oh look, the art switched. Did you see it happen? Because I usually miss it. And then it's always a surprise what pops up because it comes preloaded with art. You can also add your own, you can also add your family pictures and whatnot, but it does come preloaded with art, and I've actually been quite happy with it. Somehow they got my style. I don't know how they did that. This customization, custom curtains, I'm hit or miss on because there are a lot of affordable options out there where you can get like a 96-inch curtain so that it just dusts the floor and it does all the pretty things. But you have limitations in color, you have limitations in pleating, you have limitations in blackout when you go with just the store-bought. So these are custom. I did blackout on this side and I did sheer on the other. I got a panel of sheer for this slider as well coming. And I have really loved the customized version because I got exactly what I wanted, and it was more expensive, 100%. But if you're gonna invest in curtains that you're gonna use long-term, I would say a custom curtain is really a nice option. Now, if you want like the most affordable upgrade to go with your custom curtains, get a slider. Do you see how well this slides? Do you see how it's not catching on anything? It's not making a noise barely. It's because I have a little strip up there of hard plastic that you go all the way down your rod on, and then any joints that you would normally be catching on, they're all one solid piece because of that piece of plastic, and it slides so well. And now I'm no longer on this long span of windows sitting there jerking it, trying to get over those joints or connector pieces. All of the things that I'm talking about, I will link up for you in the description in case you want to check them out for yourself as well. Now that's really fun. So I have actually also shared a whole video, it's 3 minutes long, don't worry, it's not intensive, on how to get art on any TV. So upstairs we have an art TV, very specific, and it doesn't have the glare, and the texture looks like real art, and I'm telling you it's insane. I don't know how they do it because it's a screen, but this is just a regular old TV, and you can also do art on that. So I'll link up that video if you're interested in seeing how you do that, but I wanted to show you the basement fireplace with the flick of a button. Like I said, this one actually has a fan, so it heats up this entire family room so fast, and we're no longer freezing. So an upgrade that I would always recommend, gas fireplaces. And are they expensive? 100%. So be ready for that. But also, you can also turn them off. And if you're wondering why it's important to me that you can turn the fire off, it's because we've had a house fire with a wood-burning fireplace. Professionally installed, still caught on fire. Does it happen to everybody? No. But will I ever have a wood-burning fireplace that I cannot turn off? No, I will not. Now, one home upgrade that you can do, whether you're renovating, building, or literally just need a light somewhere, are wireless switches. When we moved into this house, none of these lights were here. We added all of the lights, but one of the challenges for our electricians was going through the joists the way that we had to. So these pendant lights didn't have a way to get the wire to this panel in order to turn them on over here with the rest of our lighting in this room. So instead they got wired to a panel across the room, and then this wireless switch talks to that panel, and now I can turn them on anywhere. We have this in multiple locations throughout the house where it would have been extremely expensive to invest in an electrician actually running wires to a new light switch. And so using wireless switches is a huge game changer in cost savings, but also convenience, because you can pretty much put it wherever you want. And then you can also, especially in an open concept home, have multiple points throughout the room where you can turn it on and off with access, instead of having to go across the room to turn it off and then head back the other direction. So this we had at our last house, and we've done it in this house, and I will do it over and over again. They're very easy to do yourself and totally worth the cost. Now outside we have a couple of different home upgrades. Number one, we did do in-ground sprinkling. We did it through all of the flower beds. It's in the yard. It's all over the place, which is really wonderful and fantastic. But if you can't afford to do actual in-ground sprinkling, your next best bet is going to be this hose reel. Now, I just did a really simple post to mount it on, but the thing that's a thing of beauty is that it's retractable. So this one I think is maybe 150 feet, and you basically pull it out. But then instead of having, you know, a hose getting tangled all over the ground or constantly fighting with it, it's just there. It's just exactly how you want it. And then when you're ready, you just give it a little tug and you walk it back in, and it wraps itself back up in a pretty neat little bow, and it's basically the most fantastic thing ever if you have a lot of watering to do and you don't like messing with really heavy hoses constantly tangled on the ground. Now, the kitchen is the one room that I feel like you can do the most customizations to. Literally, a custom kitchen can be customized down to the linings of every drawer. It's a little bit insane when you think about it, but I have done an entire video on my kitchen customizations and what I think about them. I will link that up for you because I'm not gonna redo it, but if you're interested in kitchens specifically, definitely head to that video. But one thing I do wanna point out in a kitchen, as far as customizations go, is that the hardware, it matters more than you think it does. Hardware can be extremely expensive. Easily, you can spend $1,500 or more on kitchen hardware for a kitchen, because that makes sense, because it's kitchen hardware for a kitchen. What I see happen a lot of times is that people see that price tag and they're like, oh no, I'm not paying $1,500 or more for kitchen hardware. I'm gonna do something from a big box store or from Amazon, and I'm gonna go cheap on the hardware and I'm gonna invest in other places. And while I understand that mentality, because it is a little bit hard to justify such a big cost for such a small portion of your kitchen, I would say that you're actually gonna be spending more money if you go cheap on the hardware, because likely the finish is gonna rub off or it's gonna break, and you're gonna end up replacing it anyways, and then you're spending just as much money and more work to install it multiple times over the years, rather than just investing in a quality piece of brass or something that's solid metal, is going to last, is not gonna be chintzy and fall apart or have the finish rub off on you, making the entire room look less high-end than it is. And so hardware upgrades, always recommend. Now, I honestly feel like I could keep going. I have lots of small things that I feel like are really great upgrades that are investments, but they're also things that are like this. Retractable charger with the multi-ports. I use this thing every day. So if you want to know about the tiny little gadgety or like the smaller conveniences kind of upgrades of a home, let me know in the comments, drop those below, and I will do a separate video for that, because this is more like everyday living kind of a thing rather than I'm building or I'm renovating a house kind of a thing. And so I do have so many of these though that I'm always like, man, if everybody only knew about this convenience, their life would be easier. And I'm willing to share if you want to hear about it. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed watching the video and it was helpful to see everything from in-floor heating to smart locks and everything in between, to do little upgrades and also big upgrades to make your home something that you absolutely love and serves you really well. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next week.